Hello, everybody. Uh, Making a new video as of right now. So I wanted to talk about politics because I tried to make this video, but it wouldn't let me upload it because it was 20 minutes or more. I have no idea how that works. Get into that. Warning: I will be talking about politics. If you get easily offended by that, or you just are not interested in the subject, I'd advise you to watch some other videos. I hear PewDiePie is nice this time of year. But please leave the video. Now, also, I'm a kind of extreme on the liberal views, so if you're a Republican, I would advise you to click off the video. Now, let me get into this. Alright, let's start off with Bernard Sanders, my favorite person in all of politics, aka Bernie Sanders, for all of those people who don't know. Now, he was talking about free healthcare, free college, and less police brutality, climate change. And people, they say, well, you're going to have to pay for that. Well, first of all, the United States has the money to pay for free healthcare. And here is another one of the things that we need to talk about. Here, we need to put into consideration. The healthcare bill is already extremely high. And with that in the matter here, with the fact that healthcare is already extremely high, you ask yourself, why should a child, why should we pay healthcare? All right, that's so expensive. And some children out there die because they don't have enough insulin. How can you sleep at night and think about that? Is what I'm talking about. And people talk about how, we're gonna have to pay in taxes and everything. And let me explain taxes to you. Alright, you probably already know, but most people who watch my videos aren't like 17-year-olds. They're most of my friends from school. Now, here's the thing about it. What was I about to say? The taxes pay for schools, and like firefighter places, all that stuff. It builds stuff that we need, basically, which is why taxes are a good thing. Now, here's the thing about what Bernie says. We pay, if we already pay for healthcare that's so expensive, what's the deal if, like, we pay in taxes for healthcare? The only difference is you're actually saving a child from dying, or you're saving anybody from dying most of the time. From, may it be diabetes or, anything else. That's my philosophy, at least. But the other day, I saw a comment that said socialists should be worrying about, shouldn't be fighting capitalism, they should be fighting corporatism. Now, let me talk about corporatism. Corporatism basically means that, like, what's the word? Corporatism is like companies. And you see, companies they kind of run everything. They run, I don't know what is a good example, but they run everything pretty much. Oh, right, they run like elections and news sites and everything. Alright, corporations run everything. Now, let's get into corporations here. Here's the thing about corporations. You know how in a car commercial, and this is something that my dad taught me last night, in a car commercial, they'll show you the car. It's this bright red, slim, shiny car. It's like going up a cliff and everything. That's like your standard car commercial, right? It's just like something that you've seen before. You definitely have seen it before, it's all that. And they don't show you what's like inside the car. They don't show you how it works, how fast it goes, what's the velocity of it, what went into making it. No, they don't talk about that. They just show the bright and shiny color. It's just something that my dad taught me last night, and I think that's very true. It is very true. We cannot just let this happen, and I believe that we should be taking care of this. corporatism is a very bad thing. It is horrible, you know. It, sometimes corporations can. You've probably never heard of lobbyists, but lobbyists, they pay. Basically, they'll say like, let's use a company here. Let's use the let's just say a pillow company, whatever. It doesn't really have. There are no pillow companies trying to influence the election, but that's just something I came up with first in my head. Let's say a pillow company came up to like some person, Hillary Clinton, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna pay you 100,000. We're gonna pay you $1 million for you." And when you're the president, you have to make everybody buy this pillow or something like that. It doesn't really happen, but lobbyists do that, and that's the problem with lobbyists, and that's what lobbyists do, and that's how they influence the election. The election is now easily influenced by corporations, lobbyists, and many other things, and that's why Bernie Sanders is such a beacon of hope, in my opinion. You may disagree with that, but I think he is not a cold communist, but a man who just... Now, I've heard before that Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, they're not socialist, really, because they have private ownership. Well, here's the thing, but they do have some democratic socialist principles. They're not full-on capitalism, that's the thing. You could also say the same thing for Venezuela. They're socialist and everything, but there's private ownership in Venezuela, so, it's just like, okay, yeah, there's some private ownership. So, Republican would say, oh, but, they're still socialist. Well, yeah, but they still own private ownership, and you're using the same thing for Sweden and Denmark and Finland and Norway, all those countries. And when you do that, it's just horrible. Now, and also when Republicans bring this up, they say, "Oh, communism is socialism." Everything is bad about socialism. There's not a single good thing. Well, here's the thing, and I don't get this, because there's different types of socialism. There's democratic socialism, there's liberal socialism, there's libertarian socialism, there's conservative socialism, there's Christian socialism, there's Catholic socialism, there's communist socialism, there's all those socialisms. So you can, there's also utopian Marxism. There's all those types of socialism. You cannot just put it into one thing. Most Republicans talk about communist socialism, which is something that a lot of people associate with socialism. But Bernie Sanders is a democratic socialist, different from a communist socialist. He's not. There are different types of socialism, and that's just the truth, alright? The reason I like Bernie Sanders is free healthcare, free tuition, what's that other thing? Climate change. All those things are amazing, alright? To take care of all those things would be great. I'm sorry, he's a good man. You can say whatever you want, comment whatever you want. I already put a trigger warning for most Republicans in the comments. Now let's get into Obama. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily like Obama. Obama is not a very liked person, but in my personal opinion, I think he was good. I think he could have done better, but I think he was good. Libyan crisis, yeah, that was pretty bad. That was really bad. But, there are some other great things I agree with. Don't Ask, Don't Tell. He ended Don't Ask, Don't Tell. For his time, he ended the war in Iraq. I get that it's still going, but he kind of ended it. What's that other thing? Right, he got the debt from $54 trillion from Bush to $22 trillion by the end of presidency. Lowest unemployment rate. He shot Osama. He made Obamacare, which Obamacare didn't necessarily do amazing, but it's still the only healthcare that covers pre-existing conditions. So I would say that Obama relatively did good. Let's get into Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump, in my personal opinion, is mediocre. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I think he's mediocre. I don't necessarily love him. I don't necessarily like him. He's just not amazing. That's all I can say about him. His presidency is not even over yet, so we can't even really say anything. Now, let's get into the final discussion of the day, which is Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden is the Democratic nominee, who I very, 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 very much hate. He's just so bad. Alright, there's also Kanye West who's running, but nobody really thinks he's actually going to win, hopefully. But then again, that's the same thing we said about Trump, and look where he is now. Also, Hillary Clinton is like the worst president candidate ever. So, I just think all those things. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Goodbye. That was a good talk about politics. Goodbye.